Today is very auspicious day, disappearance day of Srila Krishna Babaji Maharaj, very dear disciple of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosai Maharaj, he wrote one article when Babaji Maharaj disappeared. So I want to read that article, and in between also according to the topic, I heard some things from our Gurudev also, and Srila Bharati Gosai Maharaj, and from Srila Bodhayan Maharaj. So this was published in Chaitanya Bani, our Chaitanya Gauriya Math's magazine, just after the disappearance of Babaji Maharaj. Srila Krishna Babaji Maharaj's appearance place was East Bengal. He took birth in a highly educated and respectable lineage of Vaidyas or physicians, means Ayurvedic doctors. After receiving his BA from Dhaka school, he took shelter at the lotus feet of Paramaradhya Prabhupada. I read from Srila Bodhayan Maharaj that he was very learned, and he was very inclined for spiritual practice. So he was also going to different places of pilgrimage, but could not find appropriate guru, any place, could not feel where he could surrender. And then he was desperate that it cannot happen, it is not possible. But here in Dhaka, he first met Prabhupada, heard his Harikatha, and immediately he understood, yes, he's my guru, and fully surrendered to him. His Guru Data, or initiated name, was Sri Swadikar Ananda Das Brahmachari. Srila Bharati Maharaj explained, he came to take Harinam, and someone put him on list for Diksha also, but by mistake. Then someone told, no, he's not for Diksha. But Babaji Maharaj did not argue with this. Then he said, I'm not qualified. Then Prabhupada was happy with his humbleness. Then he said, your name is Swadikar Ananda, means one who is taking happiness in his own qualification, Swadikar. For what you are qualified, you are happy with that. You don't want more out of greed or something, but you are satisfied. So he gave this name, Swadikarananda Das Brahmachari. In the math, he was soon noticed for his deep, spontaneous attachment for doing Nam Bhajan non-stop, day and night. First, he was in Chaitanya Math in Mayapur, original Chaitanya Math. So immediately when he joined, his mood was like Haridas Thakur. He would stay in a room, and all the time he would chant Harinam. Then some other brahmacharis, they complained against him to Prabhupada. He's taking food from the mat, and he's like imitating Haridas Thakur. That is not proper. And why he's not doing any service? We are doing so much service, but he's not doing any service. Any, like for cutting vegetable or cooking or whatever service they are in the mat. So they are complaining. Then Prabhupada said, okay, you can also do, no problem. I will bring prasad to your room. You have nothing to do. Just you have to chant Harinam whole day and night. When one submits to Krishna and all the time chants, then Krishna will provide everything. And if necessary, Krishna will bring some new servants here in the mat. So you need not worry anything. you need not do anything, no any service. You just whole day and night you chant Harinam. Then they tried, but after few days they saw they are not able to do. But Babaji Maharaj, that time Brahmachari, he could do. Whole day and night, all the time he was chanting. Then they understood that he's of different capacity than us. That is why he can do. So then they did not complain, and they did their services and everything. So Prabhupada made this arrangement for them to know that he was not imitating Haridas Thakur. He was really having such attachment for chanting Harinam. But Babaji Maharaj became a little sorry why I'm creating disturbance here in the mud. They're complaining, and so he went out of the mud, only giving Dandava to Prabhupada in the night in front of his room. Prabhupada did not see him. And he went to Rishikesh, below Himalaya there, and he was chanting in lonely place all the time Harinam. And to show to Mayavadis that this Krishna worship is real, it is not imaginary. Constantly he was chanting. But Prabhupada came to know, and he was very sorry why he left. Then somehow they came to know that he's there, and Srila Bhakti Hridoy Bon Gosai Maharaj, he brought him back to the mat. That Prabhupada is very sad. So he brought, and when he came back, Prabhupada was very happy, and he said, your only duty is to chant Harinam. You don't worry. That is your only duty. So this was his seva. And Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj also, when he was describing Srila Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj, he said his only business is to chant Hare Krishna. Because there are two types of high-class devotees. One is, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained, one is Bhajananandi, one is Goshtanandi. Bhajananandi will do bhajan all the time. Goshtanandi, he will preach. He will try to increase the servants of Krishna. He will preach. Both are services. Not that one is superior to another. According to what Krishna wants from some devotee, he will do that. Like Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he's a guru of Prabhupada. He had only one disciple. He did not open any temple, not translate any book, no. But he's fully satisfying Krishna with his own seva, and Krishna is fully satisfied with him. Like here we see, Prabhupada mostly engaged all his disciples in preaching, but Babaji Maharaj had this seva, so he was doing, even as a brahmachari. His power of memory was unprecedented. He used to recite and repeat so many prayers that it astounded us to hear them. He would loudly recite so many prayers by memory with so much feeling and lamentation. Shri Krishna Karnamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam Rasa Panchadhyay, Brahmara Stava, Stava Vali, many prayers from Stava Mala, Virudhavali, Bilab Kushumanjali, and so many others were recited. This also I heard from our Gurudev. When our Gurudev was staying with Parangurudev in Chaitanya Math, that time Babaji Maharaj was also there. So Gurudev said, I saw him. He was doing kirtan, singing in front of Samadhi of Prabhupada. One after another, so many songs he knew by heart, Sanskrit, Bengali, and so on, one after another. Gurudev said, I went there and I said, I joined him. I was also doing, but after 1 hour, I could not, because I had some other duties, some other services, but he went on doing kirtan for hours together, like 8 hours per day. He would do kirtan. with mridanga, and the rest of the time, 16 hours, he would chant on Japamala. That was his whole life. And I heard from Srila Gopananda Bon Gosai Maharaj. He also met him many times because he used to come to their ashram there in Vrindavan with Srila Bon Maharaj. So he said he was doing kirtan, very enthusiastically doing kirtan. And Babaji Maharaj never spoke Harikatha or lecture or giving instruction to anyone. That was not his mood. Only he would do kirtan. But one time he did give me some instruction and some chastisement. So Gopananda Bon Maharaj said, I feel very fortunate to get this affection also. Usually he did not instruct anyone, but he did to me. So many kirtans. He used to every morning daily chant a lakh of names, 1 lakh in the morning. But throughout whole day he would chant 3 lakhs, like Haridas Thakur, all the time. Pujo Patri Dandi Goswami Srimad Bhakti Hridoy Bon Maharaj called him Nam Siddha, one who is perfected in chanting Harinam. His Sanskrit pronunciation was very beautiful and so clear, and his tone of voice so sweet. He also played beautifully on the mridanga. Our Gurudev told he used to come on our mat's parikrama, Brajamandal parikrama, and he would all the time do kirtan. Sometimes I would do, Gurudev said, sometimes Babaji Maharaj, sometimes others, but all the time he would play mridanga. He would never put mridanga on the ground. Very enthusiastic. And I heard from our god brother Sudarshan from Jammu. He said, I saw Babaji Maharaj. He was very small size, not very tall. But when there was kirtan, he would jump so high, highest of all, and very ecstatic. His proper Vaishnava humility and renunciation was fit to be modeled after. All the time, he would never complain. Gurudev said, during Brajamana Parika, we are thinking this is not good, but he would never complain anything, and always wearing simple cloth. And whoever gave him something, he would not accept or accept and give to someone else. Always keeping very simple, only dhoti and prasad. Once I asked Srila Bharati Maharaj, because on this day, I asked what Babaji Maharaj liked to eat, so that I can try to make that preparation today. Then Bharati Maharaj told me, you could not detect this, whether he likes this or that, or no. He was so simple, he would accept everything. And with no any this spirit of enjoyment or honoring prasad, so you could never know what he likes or not. So simple. And cloth, and someone would give even money. Gurudev told during Brajamandal Parikrama, some ISKCON devotees, they gave him some money, but he did not accept. He gave everything to our Gurudev to be used for the service of the mat. And then Gurudev said we kept that, and later on we used that for the construction of his samadhi now, where it is there in Nandagram. So very simple, not renunciation and humility. And in his very pure character, he was never noticed to display any type of anger, envy, or hate. When some anger seemed to become apparent as he was calling out Hare Krishna, he would laugh. Krishna Bhakte Krishna Gun Sakali Sanchari. In this way, his character illuminated all good qualities. This verse says in Bangla, all the good qualities of Krishna, they descend, they enter into his devotee. The sum total of all good qualities were bestowed on him by Bhakti Devi's mercy. Indeed, the sum total of all the demigod's good qualities resided in him. From his holy mouth always issued Harinam clearly. Gurudev told me that Babaji Maharaj was very particular. He said, you should pronounce Harinam clearly. You should utter, not mentally, but pronounce and clearly. And he was always doing, Gurudev said, when we were in Jammu in preaching, then we were in same room. That was after the disappearance of Parangurudev. Gurudev was Acharya. So he said we were put in same room and there was one bed and one mattress. So Babaji Maharaj immediately he told me, you take the bed, I will stay down here. Then Guru said, no, you are my Guru Varga. You are God brother of my Gurudev. How I can sleep there? Baba said, no, you are Acharya, you will sleep there, I will sleep here, I am fine, this is my desire. The Guru said, no, I cannot do like this. Then Baba said, no, I'm telling you, you are Acharya and you have to take proper rest. You have many programs tomorrow, you have to take proper rest. And he told him at 10 p.m., Babaji Maharaj told him, now you take rest. And Gurudev said to fulfill his desire, I had to take that bed and also that rest, and he put off the light. And Gurudev said, Babaji Maharaj was chanting, you could hear the name, but when that light was off and he told me I should take rest, then Babaji Maharaj would still pronounce, but with less sound. Still, Gurudev said, I could hear him very sweetly, he was chanting, but with less sound. He was very considerate, very sensitive, that I should not be disturbed. My sleep should not be disturbed. And he was chanting whole night, like all the time, like Goswamis. Shankya Purvaka Nama Gana Natibi, Kalavasani Krito, Nidra Hara Vihara Kade Vijito, Nidra Hara Vihara Kade Vijito. They conquered, Six Goswamis, they conquered the sleep, eating and working, all this, they conquered by their bhajan. Bihara Vijito, Chatyanta Dino Chajo. All day and night they were doing fixed number of Shankya Purvakanama, fixed number of Harinam, fixed number of giving obeisance to Vaishnavas and to Supreme Lord, thousands of Vaishnavas, 2,000, and singing songs. In this way, whole day and night they were doing bhajan. Chatyanta Dino Chajo. By this they conquered sleep, eat, and everything. Radha Krishna Gunosmriter Madhuri Manandena Samohito Bande Rupa Sanatana or Ragujigo Shri Jiva Gopalako. That song. Gurudev said, I did not see 6 Goswamis, but I saw Babaji Maharaj. He's a personal associate of Prabhupada. I saw him. He was doing like this. Whole day and night he was engaged in the service of Krishna, not any disturbance, no nothing. So he ordered me and he would do. That was in Jammu. That is why you will see in our Gurudev's Bhajan Kutir in Kolkata Mad, Gurudev is keeping photo of Babaji Maharaj in his room there. Gurudev said, I am keeping his photo because he was very sincerely doing bhajan. From the core of heart, he was doing. And Gurudev also told in Jammu that he was there, and no, that was another time, not in Jammu, when Parangurudev was still there. He used to join our Parangurudev sometimes for preaching programs. So he was doing kirtan there, and many Sanskrit kirtan and Bengali kirtan all doing. Then someone said, here these people, they don't understand this. You do only Nam Kirtan like this. So he did, and next day they engaged some other who could sing nicely, those Hindi kirtan and like this. But the audience, they complained. Today Babaji Maharaj will not sing. Then you don't understand him. So yes, maybe we don't understand what he is singing, that Sanskrit translate, that maybe we don't know, but there is a bhab, there is some spiritual vibration, some spiritual feeling is coming. That touches our heart, that we want to hear. We don't want to this nice singing and this, we want Babaji Maharaj to sing. He's touching our heart, although they did not understand. So, because he's a real devotee, one who is doing for the satisfaction of Krishna, he's satisfying him, then everyone will be satisfied in their soul. Otherwise, only this material sense enjoyment will be there, music and this. But even those audience, they could detect this difference. What is music for sense gratification and what is real spiritual vibration. So they did not want that kirtan, they want Babaji Maharaj to sing. So Gurudev said he was very sincerely doing. All the Mats and the Vaishnavas nearby laughed him. Sri Chaitanya Gauriya Math's founder and president Acharya Nittarila Pravishta Trinandi Goswami Srimad Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj liked him especially. Babaji Maharaj and his magnetic affection would appear at various mats and various utsavas, means festivals, and he used to happily join on parikramas. That is why in our mat in Kolkata you will see many pictures of Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj together with our Parang Gurudev on different Nagar Sankirtans or that program, this. He's there. And even when our Parang Gurudev was disappearing from this world, from his room there, you saw, in library, this is very near to Parang Gurudev's room, there Babaji Maharaj would do kirtan whole night in separation, grief from Parang Gurudev. And in that way he disappeared, our Parang Gurudev. They were doing in the morning also, but Babaji Maharaj was doing whole night. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj said, I also want to leave this world like this, hearing Babaji Maharaj's kirtan. But Babaji Maharaj disappeared before in 82, Srila Sridhar Maharaj in 88. He had a bhajan kutir at the Divine Lila place of Nandagram and also at Sri Dham Vrindavan's Sri Chaitanya Gauriya Mat, our mat there. In Sri Dham Mayapur, at Paramaradhya Prabhupada's original mat, in a small corner of the 3-storied Bhakti Vijay Bhavan, is also one of his very dear solitary bhajan places. Besides this, he would tour the whole of India, going to all our mats, and at each mat he would be setting up a solitary bhajan place. Dekho bhai naam bina din nahi, jai. Just attend to this, brothers. Do not let a moment go without the name. These Mahajana's words were his model and ideal. He would not waste his time with needless words. Even if someone asked him some question or spoke some problem or something, Babaji Maharaj would always reply Hare Krishna for everything. And everyone would get their reply by that. But Bharati Maharaj told me, he said Babaji Maharaj was very learned and he could speak English also very nicely. He was very learned, but he did not speak. But like Harikatha on the stage and like this. But he said one time when we were going with train, we were there sitting and Babaji Maharaj heard some people there in that compartment, they were discussing Bhagavad Gita. So they were speaking, this is the meaning like this. Babaji Maharaj became disturbed hearing how they are misunderstanding everything. So out of compassion, he went there and he told them, no, this is not the meaning. This is not the proper meaning. And he told them, this is the proper meaning. And he would speak Harikatha and he convinced them. So rarely it happened. So in this way he would do. he had no enemy. Even today his talk is remembered, so much so that its appreciative want is felt from his heart, having overflowed with intense and profound feelings. At the time of parikrama, many times he would join in, deeply absorbed. The whole night he would be seen sitting, chanting, singing the name with no lack of shlokas. Along the whole path, his mridanga resounded with his chanting without the slightest tinge of fatigue, all the time smiling. So many affluent persons with their wealth would give so many things, but he would not use even a single thing on himself. Only for Bhagavad Seva articles or Vaishnava Seva articles would he distribute them for. He wore only a small cloth, always staying just above the knee. His bedding, bodily clothing, and so on were extremely ordinary. In intense cold, he would also accept very general clothing unflinchingly and satisfied at heart. His heart always remained absorbed in thoughts of Bhagavan, never exhibiting any superficial signs. Also, one person donated him one land in Vrindavan. So Babaji Maharaj thought, okay, I will build one mat here, one center. So he started and some bricks came and then that neighbor wanted to take some land. And Babaji Maharaj then told him this is land, and then that person would argue and this and that. Then Babaji Maharaj left this idea. This worldly property and this fighting and quarreling is so much complication, so much problem. He gave up the idea. He gave everything to him. Didn't want to involve in such thing because that was not his seva. His seva was chanting Harinam. So in this way that was his style, different styles, but fully satisfying Krishna. Everyone has to do according to seva allotted to him. He was never seen to be eager or longing for mundane greed, adoration, or for any pratishta, name and fame at any time. Sriman Mahaprabhu's own words of the Trinadapi Shloka was his embodied ideal. Alas, the reasons for his becoming an impeccable model of Anam Bhajananandi and for the unfortunate life of those who want to try to enjoy this early abode, with its road to hell and back, for so long, it is not understandable. No one can understand his character, those who are wanting these worldly things. He did not want. Why? Because having superior taste in serving Krishna. So naturally they are renounced. In almost every place in Sri Braja Mandal and Sri Gaura Mandal, and also in many places of Sri Kshetra Mandal, besides nearly all of our mats, he distributed Kirtaniya Sadahuri and Mahamantra signs in Hindi and in Bengali. Everywhere manifesting his sweet omnipresent awakenings with these placards. In many places of Braja, among so many stone slabs, he preached all these words. He would put like a sticker, Mahamantra and Kirtaniya Sadahuri. That was his preaching. Sri Dham Navadip Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat's founder, Acharya, the supremely worshipable Tridandi Swami, Srimad Bhakti Rakshidhar Dev Gosai Maharaj wrote, Shri Shri Prabhupada Padma Stavaka, that song we are singing, Pranamami Sada Prabhupada Padam. Then Srimad Bhakti Vinod Viraha Dashakam, Shri Srimad Gaur Kishore Namaskar Dashakam, the 70 Shloka, Shri Shri Prem Dham Devam Eva Stotram, and so forth, about Gaur Lila, of which were very dear to him. And he would sing this. And I heard from Srila Bhakti Kamal Tirtha Maharaj from Hungary. He told me that his Gurudev was once in Mayapur. He's a disciple of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. So one time, Babaji Maharaj was going here and there. He was very close with ISKCON also. He was also present during the time when Srila Sai Maharaj took sannyas. And Srila Sai Maharaj told him, you chant more, more, more. That time Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj understood he has great faith in holy name. He will spread holy name all over the world. Babaji Maharaj understood at that time. So he was always very appreciative. And he was very affectionate to his disciples, and he was also present when Srila Sai Maharaj was disappearing from this world, doing kirtan and speaking with him and everything. We will find on all those recordings. So he was there, the guru of Tirtha Maharaj. So one time Babaji Maharaj told him, you want to see one real sadhu? Then the Dwarakadish was that time, said, yes, I want to see. So he took him to Srila Sridhar Maharaj on the other side of the Ganga, and they entered the mat, and Srila Sridhar Maharaj was speaking Harikatha. So Babaji Maharaj went behind Sridhar Maharaj so that he could not see him, and then he was showing, you see this one. And Babaji Maharaj went one time to Srila Sridhar Maharaj's birthplace and started taking earth from there, like Mahaprabhu did for his guru. So they asked, why he's your god brother, Sridhar Maharaj. Then Krishna Das Bhai, he's my god brother, but his writings, they are non-different from that of Rupa Goswami. So I'm taking dust. And he would sing that song. You will find, I heard many times in kirtans from Babaji Maharaj that Prem Dham, he was singing Sridhar Maharaj's song. He was very fond. And Sridhar Maharaj, they had very close, intense relation. And he wrote to him that Babaji Maharaj wrote to Sridhar Maharaj, I like that place in Nandagram very much. And Sridhar Maharaj felt that that was his favorite place of bhajan. And some other things also they discussed. I will come a little later. Especially amongst the Prem Dham Deva Stotram, this song of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Krishna, 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 Krishna Nama Kirtanam, Rama Rama Gana Ramya, Dibya Chanda Nartanam, Jatra Tatra Krishna Nama, Dana Loka Nistaram, Prema Dhama Devam Eva, Naumi Gaura Sundaram. This line, one of the seven, this was favorite his. The translation is, his means Mahaprabhu's pilgrimage to South India was actually for the purpose of rescuing the residents of that place. At roadsides, temples and holy sanctuaries, he would chant in sweet tunes, Krishna, 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 He. Sometimes carried away by some indescribable divine exultation, he would sing Ram Ram and dance sweetly in ecstatic rhythm. He would deliver one and all, irrespective of time, place, or circumstance, by magnanimously inducing them to chant the holy names of Krishna. I sing with joy the unending glories of my golden Lord Gaurasundar, the divine abode of pure love. This 22nd shloka and our supremely worshipable Srila Prabhupada's song, Dushtamon, Tumi Kisar Vaishnav. O wicked mind, what kind of Vaishnava are you? These songs and Say Duti Kotha, Bhulo Na Sarvata, Koro Uche Sware Hori Namrop. These few words never forget. This is from this song. Always loudly vibrate the holy names. These songs he would almost always sing. Sriman Mahaprabhu's and his dear Parshad, or eternal associates Goswami's Nam Bhajano Pada Shavali, he published and distributed without cost everywhere. His enthusiasm for preaching, as well as his proper Vaishnava behavior towards all these things, was indomitable. The supremely worshipable Mahatma Sri Srila Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj disappeared on the 4th of Madhusudan, 496 of Bengali era, Gaurabda, or the 12th of April 1982 on a Monday, Krishna Panchami, 5th lunar day of waning moon. Besides the renowned Pavan Sarovar and Srila Sanatan Goswami's Bhajan Kutir in Nandagram at 9 p.m. and so many Brajabasi Vaishnavas gathered before Sri Sri Guru Gaurango Gandharvika Giridhari Jiu's lotus feet. Also, I remembered when we were in this place, Nandagram, with Gurudev Brajamananda Paikrama, one camp was there. So we visited Babaji Maharaj's Samadhi. So one disciple of Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj that time told me that he heard from his Gurudev that once Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj was visiting Babaji Maharaj there, and for a few days and then Ekadashi came. Then Babaji Maharaj very enthusiastically said, Maharaj, let us stay whole night awake and do Harinam on Ekadashi. Like as if never happened before, with new enthusiasm, with new taste every time, because they were on transcendental platform all the time new. So he said, let us do Harinam whole night on Ekadashi. And Puri Maharaj was a little shy, thinking, what if I will not be able to do? But Puri Maharaj also is pure devotee, he can do, but he's playing another role as a Goshtaranandi, and they are pure devotees. But they have different seva, like those who are preachers, they are in the mat and they have to accept this service from disciples and this arrangement and that. But they don't require these things. And also when they are sleeping, they are thinking of Krishna, dreaming of Krishna, serving him all the time. So, but then they did together, both. They chanted whole night on Ekadashi. Babaji Maharaj was very happy. So, and prior to this disappearance, also I read from Srila Bodhayan Maharaj, Babaji Maharaj was playing the pastime of being ill. So they took him to one doctor there in Agra, good doctor. So he put that stethoscope to check his chest and heart and all this. But that doctor did not hear the beating of heart. What he heard from Babaji Maharaj's chest, from his heart, only Maha Mantra he could hear in stethoscope, in that air. He was surprised. What is this? Then again he tried, he thought maybe something wrong, but again he tried, again he only heard Maha Mantra. He said, I cannot give any treatment or any diagnosis, and only Maha Mantra is coming out. I'm not hearing any other sound, because they are such status. They are in that level. And when Gaur Govinda Maharaj in Mayapur, in ISKCON, one time he fell unconscious. Then everyone thought some health problem or something, and they could not revive him. And doctor also said, no, nothing wrong with health. So no one knew what is going on. That time, Babaji Maharaj came and he checked. Gaur Govinda Maharaj said, no problem. That is bhav. Like we are hearing Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when going totally in internal consciousness and having darshan of Lila, Radha Krishna Lila, and serving there, then he is not in this world, only in internal world. So, because Babaji Maharaj knows what is this, so he could also detect in Gaur Govinda Maharaj. He said, no, you don't worry. This is bhav, internal consciousness. Don't think anything wrong with his health or something. So he confirmed. So also it happened with Babaji Maharaj, Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj. One time he was in Dauji temple, you know, in Gokul Mahavan, that Baladev temple. So he was doing Harinam, and then he little was like as if he would sleep, like feeling little sleepy. Then suddenly he loudly said, "Take me with you, take me with you." And everyone was surprised, what is this? And then Babaji Maharaj fell down, unconscious. Then those Brahmins there, pujaris and all this, they somehow managed to take care of him, and then he came back to external consciousness. And they asked what happened, and Babaji Maharaj did not reply anything to them. But later on, to some of his devotee friends, they asked, then he told, "I saw Krishna Baladev. They are going to graze the cows in the forest. And they were going, so I said, take me with you, take me with you." And then I fell and they took me with them. But he was experiencing this. Outwardly unconscious, but internally from soul's eyes. So that is how he realized his eternal Swarup in Sakya Rasa. Everyone knew. He also openly told to Srila Sridhar Maharaj, "I have attraction for this." And I realized, so Sridhar Maharaj said, yes. Follower of Subala Saka, they are Priya Narma Sakas who are also assisting Krishna in his pastimes with the gopis from Krishna's side. Like Manjaris, from Radharani's side, they are serving her. From Krishna's side also there are some assistants who are serving Krishna in his lilas with the gopis. They are called Priyanarma Sakas. They are special type of Sakas, supreme. So he's one of them. Also one time, one devotee from Holland asked our Gurudev, how is it that he's a disciple of Prabhupada, but he is inclined to Sakya Rasa? Then Gurudev said, because Sakya Rasa and Madhurya Rasa, they are connected. They can happen at the same time, not with Vatsalya Rasa. Vatsalya, Nanda, Jashoda, in front of them, Krishna is like a small boy. He cannot do anything, so they give him bath, they put him to rest, but with gopis, Krishna is like a hero, so this lila cannot happen together. So Gurudev explained, but in Barshana, when Krishna and Sakas, they are there in that passage, you know, narrow, then gopis, they go with their yogurt and milk and everything, but Krishna and Sakas, they don't allow them to pass. They say you have to pay tax. This is our land, you have to pay tax. And then there is a big quarrel between gopis and Krishna and Sakas. Lila there, so Guru said this is one instance. Another instance is when Krishna comes back from forest grazing cows, then Mother Jashoda baths him, and then she also tells him, but you will have to milk the cows also. So Krishna goes there, and those gopis who bring the sweets from Prasad, from Java to Nandagram, they are present in the cow shed at that time. So both are present there, Sakas and also gopis. And Gurudev then said, so for this reason, Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj is required. So there are different sevas for Krishna Lila. So according to one's adhikar, according to one's swarup, he is serving, all are serving. So because it is connected. So this is how he realized through chanting purely. And he got darshan of that lila, and he also saw who he is in relation to Krishna, and then he was serving in that mood. And also we heard from Gurudev that when by great hardship they got that place in Puri, appearance place of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, our Parangurudev and Gurudev, they were there for 10 years, they were trying, ultimately they got it, and then soon Parangurudev disappeared. So land was there, but there was no money. What to do now? How we will make temple here? And like this, Gurudev was thinking. He said, I was thinking what to do now. Then one day on Grand Road in Puri, he and Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj, they were walking, and suddenly one car stopped. And one person came out and gave Dandavat to Babaji Maharaj and spontaneously gave some big amount of money to him. Then Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj understood he can help us in this. And really that person took all the responsibility then for construction of that. Others also contributed, but he was also. So Gurudev said if someone is sincere, then Krishna and Gurudev, they will provide everything. Only you need this desire to serve. Then everything you will get. So this also, it was Babaji Maharaj's seva. And so many, his talk, and it is unlimited topic. When our Parangurudev disappeared, also Babaji Maharaj was doing kirtan on that first meeting of separation after Parangurudev disappeared. That kirtan is still there. You can hear him singing that Baro Karuna Koro Vaishnava Gosai Patitapa Banatoma Bineke Hona. He was singing that with great separation grief, Babaji Maharaj, because he was with our Parangurudev many times. He was with all his god brothers, Shridhar Maharaj, Bon Maharaj, Kunja Babu in Chaitanya Math, all. Everywhere he was loved by all. And with Srila Sai Maharaj, very good friends. Sai Maharaj would fully appreciate, yes, his only business to chant Harinam. And Babaji Maharaj fully appreciated Srila Sai Maharaj. He's spreading Harinam all over the world. He's so great. So the following day, yes, so that doctor said I could not hear anything else than Mahamantra. Then, after playing some pastime of sickness, then on this day, Babaji Maharaj disappeared from this world, but they saw in his, he had one song book where he sometimes used to make some notes, like diary. So his last writing in that diary was just before his disappearance. Chanting the holy name of Krishna is the true nectar. The holy name is like honey. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That was his last writing. Harinam is real nectar. It is like honey. So then, the following day, Tuesday, at about 2 p.m., Shripad Rasbihari Das Babaji Mahashoy, with the help of other Brajabasis and Babajis, placed him in his holy Samadhi. During this previous Divine Kartik month, while performing Brajamandal Parikrama, while having darshan at his Bhajan Kutir here, he remarked again and again that I will never go away from this place. Nandagram is his eternal, dearmost and favorite of bhajan places. It was Sri Hari's divine will and desire that he subsequently disappear here. By Krishna's mercy, he gave us his fortunate Nam Nishta, means full faith in Harinam, Vaishnava association, and it is our misfortune that we have lost that association. Swatantra Krishna Icha Hoilo Sangabanga. By the independent will of Krishna, that association was broken. He was a faultless Vaishnava, knowingly or unknowingly at his feet let whatever faults by me against his own qualities be cleansed away. This is our prayer. Due to our obstacles, the Supreme Worshipable Srila Prabhupada has desired to take away such fortune of their manifest association, gradually taking them back to his eternal service and his eternal abode. By their mercy, we may also soon obtain that eternally worshipable Guru Padma's eternal service. This Nitya Lila Pravishta is our only prayer at his holy feet, to enter into the eternal pastimes where Gurudev is there, Radha Krishna are there. So also Srila Bharati Gosai Maharaj, he told many pastimes with him you will find in his book. He also experienced this, that during Brajamandal Parikrama, one time he was put together in same tent as with Babaji Maharaj, and Bharati Maharaj humbly said, Babaji Maharaj, I have to wake up many times during the night because I have to watch this watching and all this, so please you take some other so that you will not be disturbed during the night when I will have to go. Then Babaji Maharaj smiled, no, I will not be disturbed, don't worry. So anyhow, then Bharati Maharaj woke up many times during night, and every time when he woke, he saw Babaji Maharaj chanting there. All the time he was chanting. So, Kirtanya Sadahuri. One time also Gurudev, when he was explaining to me, encouraging me to chant Harinam, this should be my main sadhana. That time Gurudev said, you have example like Haridas Thakur and Krishna Das Babaji. He told me at that time to follow their example. I am unable to do, but at least I should try. So Babaji Maharaj is not ordinary person, pure devotee. So I'm remembering his photo there in the Bhajan Kutir of our Gurudev in Calcutta, and also his Samadhi Mandir there in Nandagram, Brajamandal. I am bowing down to Babaji Maharaj, praying for his causeless mercy that I may be able to follow his example, to do service of Krishna as he wants for his satisfaction. Because one devotee, senior devotee, Gurudev's god brother, he told me, you should chant 1 lakh daily, Harinam. Then I went to Gurudev. I said, this is what he said. I said, Gurudev, I can try, but then I will not be able to do other things. Then Guru said, why? There is no any such limitation. How Haridas Thakur, he was chanting 3 lakhs daily, and he would also do other things. How this is possible? Then I said, Gurudev, that is beyond my comprehension, beyond my understanding. Then Gurudev smiled and he said, because they are chanting during night also. That is why they have time. Then Gurudev smiled, but you do as much as you can. Gurudev at that time did not approve that I should like chant 1 lakh or like Haridas Thakur, but he made me understand that it is possible for those who are pure devotees. But we who are sadhakas, we should do according to our capacity, how much we are able to do, and gradually with purification of heart and more attachment to Krishna, then this service also will increase. So, Srila Krishna Das, Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Tadya Tirubhaktiti Puja Mahamahotsav ki jai. Tomorrow also we will hear about Srila Bhakti Kumud Shanta Gosai Maharaj. He is another one very dear disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Tomorrow is his appearance day.